Hey guys, how are you? Welcome to the Benjamin Zulu Show, the only show that I must confess, ladies and gentlemen, that it is doing wonders. First of all, I'll begin by appreciating all those who are coming out, actually telling us on how the Benjamin Zulu Show has transformed them. Okay, remember, this show is not just saving relationships. This show is saving lives. And that is why, again, today we are on set. Why? Because we want to save a life of a gentleman. All right, why am I talking about that? Today we are advising gentlemen. Benjamin is going to tell you why you must never marry your baby mama. Have you been thinking about it, or are you just almost marrying your baby mama? That is why Benjamin is here. Hey Benjamin.
Hello. And you know, one of the things I want you to understand is that the character of a person who is supposed to be your assistant in life, your soulmate, your helper, the one to journey with you. We discussed the other day some of the elements you need to have in your mind when you marry. And we said one of the elements is this woman must be self-respecting enough. This woman must have her own dignity. This woman must have her own spirituality.
Yes.
Do you remember the risk of marrying a woman who cannot hold you up, cover you up spiritually?
Yeah.
You will be alone in the battles of life.
Yes.
And when you descend to the valleys of fighting, to the valleys of battle, to work, to looking for money, to applying for tenders, applying for jobs, to forging for your children, going looking for schools, those battles of life, you are alone and you are exposed. You'll be easily beaten. And we said we'll discuss next time. But what part of the young men we need to advise today is some places are not ideal for meeting a wife.
Good.
Right?
Yeah.
Places matter. Club is not ideal. The women, not every woman in the club is drunkard or bad woman. But most women, when it comes to times for making decisions of life, they will not be frequenting every weekend club, every weekend doing that. There are some places that don't go together. Most people who are with church and prayer are not always in club and partying. Most people don't live those double lives. All right? And I'm not generalizing here. You may find that, as I told you the other day, you don't want to be extreme. If your friend is having an event, many restaurants also have another side that is meat, another side is club, another side is hotel. So you don't want to say, I never stepped my feet there. That's not what you're saying. We are talking about lifestyle, where the person is spending most of their time with, what they are doing, which activities are occupying their free time, their weekend, where they are longing to go. So there are places that are not ideal at all. And as a young man, when you're making decisions like junctions, after you make it, you head that direction. When you're making those turns, when you're making those decisions, the people around you, the activities you are in, who you hang around with, and most people are never conscious. And the company they keep, it happens as if, because I work in this company, so I hang out with those guys. Because I was in this school, I was in this church, most people don't pay attention. Bramwell, be careful. The same way you look for job, you look for cars, you look for house, look for friends. It's important to pay attention, and when you notice a person, start edging close to them. Notice a person who is resourceful. Start studying them, get in touch with them, looking after them. You can actually establish contact with a person who you consciously went after. That is very possible.
Yeah.
That is very possible. So we are saying this. One of the things you need to understand is this. Brahmana sexual discipline will prevent you from 90% of all the tricks women use to trap men. Sexual discipline alone. The other 10% is money. And only a small percentage, especially the women who use money to trap younger men who don't have money. But ordinarily, Brahmana, the trap that good men have been finished with, it's all open. There are no new tricks. I want to comfort you. Stop feeling afraid as if some people trap you out there. The Bible says the enemy has no new tricks. In fact, the enemy you have to fight with is within you. Your own urges, your own cravings, your own emotions. If you can learn to monitor your own feelings, in fact, that straight path in the book of Proverbs, that to watch and not go down to the loose woman, not go down to the adulterous woman who has sweet language, who I was watching through the window and I saw among people one young man who particularly lacked insight. Some people stand out because of their foolishness. Okay? Particularly lacked insight. And the woman met him and, embracing him, and not all hugs are for friendship.
Yeah.
Braced him and spoke and laid him down, and he followed like sheep going to slaughter. So today we are discussing circumstances under which you must never get married. And the leading one is never marry a woman because you made her pregnant. Why? Because if many men, those who marry because they made somebody pregnant, are good guys, and they're usually thinking about the child. I don't want my child to grow up away from the father man, or to grow up near my child, and I want my child to have a complete home. And be careful if you are oversensitive about single parenting families. Many of us grew up with single parent, and we saw the problems with the single parent, maybe having to do everything on our own or on his own, having to handle life, and we pitied. We thought if there was another person, maybe they could help each other. So me, when I grow up, I don't want a single parent family. Be careful. If you grew up in a single parent family, you could exaggerate the problems in that single parent and exaggerate the benefits of marriage, especially when there's no harmony in the marriage. So those men usually say, because of my child. That is exactly the problem. You don't marry because of the child. All right? You get a child because you got married. That is a reverse way of thinking. It will bring a lot of chaos in your life. Let's repeat this. You're supposed to have a happy marriage, and inside the happy marriage, now get the child. That's what God intended in Malachi. So that they may bring up godly offspring. All right? That's the ideal. But if out of fornication, if you sinned, and out of the sin you got a kid, and now you want to establish your marriage on the foundation of sin.
Yes.
Brother, the foundation stone of your marriage is sin. Brother, let me tell you, and we're not saying there are no circumstances you can never marry. We'll come to that. You can never marry a lady who you made pregnant. We will come to that. But we're saying the moment you realize you made a person pregnant, don't shift your head to the child. Because when you say I'm marrying because of the child, you're ignoring the fact that the environment in the home will be dictated by your connection with the woman. And you're not focusing on her character now. You're focusing on her biology. Okay? We said people get pregnant not because of character, biology. Because their body is functioning. Not because they are honest or reliable or open-minded or reliable or stable. It's nothing about how they think, how they approach life. It's about cycles and body and everything except what you need to check. So listen to me, gentlemen. When you marry a woman because you made her pregnant, you're focusing on the child, not on the marriage of the woman. And that will affect your life the most, not the child. In fact, let me take you higher. The best way to take care of your child is to make sure you don't bring them up in a strife, in an environment of strife and coldness and lack of love and lack of attachment. The best way, the best ones you realize the lady is pregnant, step back. Don't bring her in. Step back and reason. What is the best way now? I can provide maybe school fees. I can provide a good education base. Remember, this child cannot stay in your hands forever. Even if you marry because of the child, soon they will grow and go out. Here will remain a marriage you were not thought about. So the first reason is because you cannot found a marriage on a mistake. All right? Now, there are other women who suggest to move in with you. Or they even suggest to get a child.
Yes.
Let me tell you which kind of women can ever suggest that. They are never wife materials. In fact, I always advise gentlemen, the moment somebody suggests to move in with you, distance yourself, cut them from your life completely. Completely. Don't wait for another evidence. No self-respecting woman will marry herself. Never. Let me tell you simple things about virtuous women, self-respecting women, women of character, women of honor, women of dignity. Never. I want you to understand that. I want you to understand that. There's no woman who will suggest for you to marry her. The same way, if a woman approaches and says, I like you, what next? Either she's cheap or she's a fool. Which of the two would you rather marry?
None.
Women don't propose. They don't bring ideas. Let's start living together now. Let's self-respecting women want to be acquired the cultural way, the right way, the formal way, so that after you marry them, after you go pick them from their parents, they have authority as your wife to own the territory. That woman who is suggesting to come in, maybe she has terrible secrets, serial abortions, maybe child hidden there, having done this there. They know under normal circumstances you never marry her. A woman who knows she deserves her own man and she deserves to be pursued, and she's confident and she has self-pride and she knows she's a beautiful treasure. She will never say, hey, can I just come and live together? Never. She ever does that, she's immature, cheap, foolish, she has secrets, she's cunning, you are being trapped. In all cases, you will regret it if you cooperate. In fact, even if there is any, many of them have pregnancy and they're looking for somebody to place it on. You know, men have this idea of thinking when they're having sex with a woman, they're the ones in control. Many men have that delusion, of thinking because they asked for it. You know, they say they ask for sex. Yeah. They're the ones now on top of the game. On top, they imagine in their head that they're in control. The men who can get away with that kind of thinking are those cheap guys up down there who have nothing, no honor, no property, no money, or anything to protect. They have nothing to be stolen out of. Bible calls them vagabonds. People are just loitering around. Right? Those kind of men, except just sleeping with women, there's nothing else to their name. They can get away with that. But you, as a self-respecting man who has a future, dreams, property and plans you have in your life, you try to play that kind of game, cunning women will arrest you very quickly. You'll be a very easy target. They will plant themselves in your life using the loophole in your trouser. If there's a loophole you need to close. Brother, be careful before you unzip. That those inner chambers are the holy of holies, so to speak. Or you know a country has been overtaken when the capital has been seized. That's the capital, man. Protect the parliament. Protect the state house. Protect your headquarters. In fact, as I told you, you can live a generally peaceful life by exercising sexual restraint. Imagine that. You can live, but we don't think about sex usually. We are open to interactions, we are open to emotional entanglements, we are open to flirting, we are open to flowing along with this one, admiring this one, trying to enjoy this one, wooing this one here. We think it's playful. We think it's a game. Samson kept thinking it's a game. He would go and sleep with a certain woman there, and when they try to close him in, he gets out and carries the gate with him and goes away. He made it a game. Continued playing until he met Delilah. Be careful, brother. If you are used to thinking, you can always get away with it. And he thought to himself, I'll wake up when they tied him the chains. I'll wake up and break myself free as I've always done. The problem with getting used, familiarity, of getting habitual with the playing, flirting with the danger. Habitual flirting with the danger, brother. So this is what you shall do. Once you realize pregnancy has occurred, step back. Step back and first of all calm yourself. Pregnancy is overwhelming even for the woman. Many of them are coming to you because their parents will not condone nonsense. They know there is punishment at home, or it will be tough. They're looking for anywhere to shelter. All right? Yeah. So the first thing you should know as a man is now. Once you hear pregnancy has been announced, one problem has occurred. If you're disciplined yourself sexually, you will not be in this situation. Yeah. Many of them would even trump you. They will come and they wait until it's night for them to spend there. Ask many men who ended up marrying narcissists, women who tormented them nearly to death. It began this way. They tell me the connection was not even that strong. She started coming, cooking for me, taking gas, spending over, and then I was not even, and before I knew it, pregnancy, before I knew it. Brother, don't be carried away by activities, and you're not on top of things. In fact, many men ended here when they were in maybe a difficult emotional state. Maybe you're looking for a job, or you're coming from another breakup. When you're coming from another breakup, you're very vulnerable. Yeah. Anybody who listens, comforts, they can manipulate their way into your inner life. Once you realize there's pregnancy, don't think of marrying. Step back and plan. Now that there's a child on the way, what shall I do? Don't move together. Don't move in. Just think about the child's future. I need to start saving up, maybe taking an education policy. I strongly encourage all men to educate their children. Educate your child, man. Don't discard them out into the world. Even if they're with another man, make it your point as much as possible. Provide as far as you can to the child. You may not. There are women who use the child for you to give them a lifestyle that just to siphon money from you. No, be firm. You may even pay it direct to school. You even if you cannot, as much as possible, you can interact with the child. But even if you cannot, make sure you know that is your child and you can pay as much as you can. Running away will torment you. Let me remind you again, when you're a man who has conscience, integrity, dignity, you live consciously, knowing you ignored your child somewhere will torment you. You will never have peace. Remember I said, a clean conscience is a soft pillow. It allows you to sleep. Clean conscience, brother. It's a soft pillow. You need to be able to lie down and sleep. Everybody goes through the night, but not everybody rests. Very true. They removed curfew, and I don't know whether clubs in your area were excited, like in my area. They are shouting and screaming. Yes. I'm saying, is that fun? That's not fun, brother. Not fun. That kind of wildness, it's like silencing another voice.
Yes.
There's a time I dropped by a club to see a friend of me. I found people dancing, and the dance doesn't look happy. They don't look like, it's like, the way a person would put a lot of effort to silence something that is troubling.
Yeah.
Like running away from something. And they're dancing, it's like forced. You can see a face that is happy, and you can see a face that is troubled. I'm wondering, what kind of music is this? Is it forced music? And it's called, people are dressed very scantily, and it's called, I'm looking for a way to cover myself more. I'm trying to drink hot tea. It's called, they're dressing scantily, they're taking cold beer. Brother, is that fun? People have looked for so many things to replace the Prince of Peace. Yeah. There's a God-shaped space in you that only God can fill it and give you calm. He gives to his children sleep, peace. Peace is a person, Brahma. It's not the absence of chaos. Yeah. Peace is a person. He says, I'll give you joy. We usually say, let's enjoy ourselves. To enjoy means to find joy in. In enjoy, find joy. So he says, I'll give you joy. You don't need to look for joy in things that are empty. For running away from God's plan. People have to replace it with all manner of wildness. There are many people, Bramwell, and one of the problems you realize why men come to marry this wrongly is because they don't realize that they diverted. They lost their way. And let me tell you, Brahma, once you divert away and the enemy knows you, if you lived calmly, if you live quietly, if you had a peaceful mind, you can change the world.
Yes.
You've heard me say, man, and I've seen it. I've finally seen where we are missing it. Why Africa we are behind. Because personally, my potential and your potential is destroyed by premature marriages, chaotic relationships, marrying baby mamas, stress at home, trauma, man. There's so much storm in our personal lives. Our personal potentials are dissipated. A girl wrote to me from Uganda, I was telling you off air, that she said, and I was looking for it, we use it also. But she was saying, you saved my life, guys.
Look at that.
With that show we did about the disaster of campus dating and how it kills. She said, I almost committed suicide. I was dropping out of school, descended to depression because of a breakup when I was that year. She said, she's listening to you, said, so I was just doing the wrong thing at the wrong time. She woke up, went back to school. How happy are those parents? How happy is that whole family? Isn't that a life you have turned around?
It is.
Let us help men today. If you have made the first mistake of sleeping with a woman whom you have not married, don't add another mistake of institutionalizing your marriage and your life based on that blunder. Don't make a blunder the foundation of your marriage. You cannot think clear and you can't tell whether this is true your soulmate, how well you connect. You cannot, if a woman was easy to jump to your bed, ask yourself what kind of woman you're dealing with. Even you, when you jumped on her, ask yourself, what does that say about who I am now? Brahma, there are some things you've done in your past and they were not you. They were stages of development. You were ignorant about sex. You were ignorant about your principles. You were not conscious about your calling. You were not aware about godliness. You did not know about what you're supposed to conduct yourself with. There are some behaviors, Brahma, we did in the past and we were not ourselves. If some of those behaviors resulted in pregnancy, don't marry there. If you marry there, you'll be forced to stay there on that level. And that woman will complicate your life. Let me bring on the second element. There are people who, when the baby has occurred, and sometimes your parents, your own family, your mother, your dad, they even go for the woman and bring her there.
I've seen that happen.
You are in Nairobi and they bring her to your house at home.
Yeah.
And you're informed now you are married. Clans. Sometimes families, they presume. Know that. And you know why parents do that? They are doing that because they are happy to see you grow.
Yes.
They just know that you are my child. That should be your wife. Most mothers and our fathers in previous generation don't think about character, compatibility, destiny, chemistry, soulmate. Deeper issues of thinking alike. In the previous era, any woman who was fertile was good. This woman is fertile. She got a kid. She's a good wife. It was that surface, man.
Yeah.
Those days, and that's why we are behind as a group, it was not about what calling we are pursuing gently. As you defend our culture, as you say, oh, let's maintain our culture, remember what the culture has done to us economically. Please, every day remember that, brother. There are elements of our culture that are precious, we should preserve. There are elements of our culture that are backward, that putting marriage ahead of dreams, ahead of financial independence, ahead of achievement. We were not praising our children on how they will change the world. We were telling them, you'll be married by so and so. Even the mothers would joke about how their kids will get married.
Yeah.
The only thing that was coming to mind is about marriage. Children. Married. Children. How would you say about Floyd Mayweather's father carrying the boy when he was 18 months and taking him to a punching bag? 18 months, 1.5 years, and making the boy punch. Brother, are we in the same? Where are we? What would you say about Tiger Woods? 18 months. He was given the golf club. 18 months. Floyd Mayweather's father is 18, holding the boy and making him punch a punching bag. And just like that, he shaped the boy to be one of the greatest athletes who ever lived. What are we shaping our children for? We're just predicting marriage. Just telling them that's a good wife. I want us primarily to shape some of the things about our culture. Your parents will carry that woman, bring her there. You need to have a pep talk with them. Tell them, I only own the child, not the woman. I'll cooperate from far. Me and I are not a good team. I'm not sure whether we can do well. I'm going to find life. I need a companion, not just a baby mama. Tell them I'll take responsibility for the child, but that's not my way. And if they force it, never go back home there. Build your own home. Never be forced to marry by society, by your father, by your mother, by going to bring that woman there. And many people know how to go behind. They know you don't want. They go use the parents. Don't be over obedient. I want you to respect your parents, but don't worship them. Worship God only. Okay?
Okay.
Parents can mislead you genuinely. Then they mean well, but they mess up your life if you over-obey. Once you become an adult, I told you, let authority, let all final decisions and things that change your life come from you. Your convictions and your direction, where you're going and your calling. Not a parent you worship or a mentor. Be careful, I told you, some of us were so helped by pastors and spiritual mentors. We were so shaped by them. If you don't know the time to stop running to Eli and start going to God directly himself, my friend, you will mess up. The same people built you up can destroy, can pull you down if you don't know when to retire.
Yeah.
I told you when you reach a point of now getting married, starting your family, what you do? Learn from teachers, but be the head of your family. Don't make another person the head. The one whom you must approve all your decisions. Approve the job, approve the car, approve the what, approve the other. My wife is saying he wants to advance her studies. Do you think it's a good idea? Don't have anybody you asking those kind of questions. You can discuss with your peers or with a person who is knowledgeable, but the decision should always come from you. And avoid disclosing every step you are taking. When will you grow together as your woman, with your woman? Take some steps and learn together. Forge life together, man. Sometimes I want you to know, before you get married, you are alone in the world. But once you get married, you are together alone in the world. Let me repeat that. Before you get married, you are alone. Once you get married, you are together alone. Do you get it?
Philosophy.
Oh, what?
112. That is philosophy.
Do you see where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
I want you to stop thinking anybody will take responsibility for your misdeeds. Right now, brother, you may have a mom who loves you, auntie who loves you, but if you mess around and kill yourself, they'll just bury you.
Yeah.
If you don't aim to the clouds, nobody else will lift you there. Right now, you're alone in the world. After you get married, you and your woman are now alone together. It's me and you. It's us against the world. All right? Our goals, our dreams, okay? So, we're saying, make sure you come to marry a woman, you love her for the value she brings to your life, not because she carries your child. It's the children you bear, you bring forth from that union of being together in the world, of thinking alike, forging together, of marching through life together, staggering through issues, praying together, encouraging each other, building together, man. It's that environment of being one with your woman. That's when you sire your children. That other child was a mistake. The act was a mistake. But the child is a human being. You're going to take care of them from where you can. Sometimes you can adopt the child practically if that's possible. But don't marry a woman because of a child. If you do, you'll have compromised every aspect of your life and complicated your life. Be careful with the boys who are 23 and they're already baby daddies.
Yeah, and it is on rampant.
They are booking themselves for complication, delay, poverty, struggle, stress, chaos. It's very rampant today. You find that a boy is 27 has 2 children.
Yes.
While other 23-year-olds are buying the trailers and tractors and opening business. This one is just counting baby mamas. Warn our brothers. Warn our sons and the upcoming young men who have dreams. The first thing you'll have to rein in is on your sexual passions. You must tame your horses, control yourself, and we'll discuss how to control yourself sexually as a man one of these days. But remember, one of our strategies you said was very unpredictable, very simple. Stay in one place.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stay at home. Only go where it's necessary, and when you go there, stay there. There are many men who simply blundered for being in the wrong place. David slept with a woman for being in the wrong place. When it's time for war, go to war. And they stick there. The cloud always led them where they're supposed to be. Stay under the cloud, Bramwell. Don't get out from under the cloud. The cloud during the day provided shade and direction. At night it became fire to provide heat and direction, light. Sense the cloud we're supposed to be and stay there, Bramwell. In fact, I told you, many of our secrets, really, what people think we are powerful geniuses, come from what we don't do.
Yeah. Imagine. What we don't do.
People are looking for things to do. Yes. Hey, most of it is restraint. Putting handbrake and holding still. Brother, the heart. Putting the handbrake and stay still. For the hours. Stay there. Keep it there. In fact, a lot of training in the military, we know a lot of activity we see them doing. But many times that meant to stand in the same place for long. Your big training as a man is to stay home. Endure boredom without looking for excitement and distraction. Let the time that was supposed to be in the class, stay in class. Weekend, stay in school. At work, stay at work. Go home, stay at home. In study, stay in study. You sleep, stay asleep. At night, stay at home. To control the urges to detour. Samson went down to Gaza. David remained when men at war. He wandered on rooftop, saw the wrong things. It's men blunder for not staying put in place. Just learn to control your urges. And Bramwell, sometimes you need to burn bridges to stop going back to those tempting places. Stop, delete those contacts. Stop the chats. I mean, many times as a man you will survive for simply confining yourself to the right route. Stay under the cloud. Manage your urges, your storms, and pray for grace to stay put. You will win in life. Not so much. In fact, you do fewer things. The wiser you grow as a man, the lesser the things you get involved in.
I like that. The lesser the things you get involved in.
Exactly.
And right there, Benjamin, you see, then one would wonder, Benjamin, if at all I was in a relationship, yes, we were not married, but as you're saying, we got a child, but again, we parted ways. But our parting ways, it was not chaotic. You see, it was not chaotic. Oftentimes you say, how you end one season determines how you enter the new season. So you'll realize that I ended things well. But now I'm in a position where I feel, yes, we never abused each other. The ending was good. But now I feel that we are still connected with this girl. I have to bring her on board with my child. What about that?
Stop mentioning the child. That's where you go wrong. If you realize you're marrying this child, partly because she has your child, that's where you're going wrong. Ask yourself, if there was no this child, would I marry her? If this child was not in the picture, would I marry her? Let's revisit again how you shall gauge the right woman to marry. The one with whom you are your best version when you are in our company. The one with whom you are in your element. Makes you pray better, dream better, think better, laugh more, be confident, attempt things. One who brings out the best. Why are men marrying people who bring out the worst? Who annoy you till you want to do things? Don't make me do things I'll regret. How can you be talking like that and you still marry that human being? Something is wrong inside your head. If that woman is still the one who brings out the best in you, and you say, even without a child, I would have married her, that's okay.
Okay.
But remember, many times the person is calm and not chaotic. And you are calm and not chaotic. But that element of vibrant chemistry, laughter, joy, energy, creativity, playfulness, progress, imagination is not there. Many marriages are mediocre. And that's why they need so much effort to sustain.
Yeah.
Brahma, I don't need to be brighter than you to go ahead, to go further than you in life. If I marry better, I'll beat you in everything.
True.
I have constant support. You don't.
Yes.
Don't marry parallel lines. Marry a person you can intertwine. Intertwine. So some women are okay, and you are okay, but it's not a great connection. Make sure it's a great connection. And if then you have a past, and there was a child, right? I advise you to marry a woman who has a child, even if it's not your child. How much better if it's your child? But time has gone and you're ready to marry now. You're not rushing because of the child.
The child.
You stepped back first. In fact, the wisest thing is, if pregnancy results, step back. That was a mistake. Calm down. Go get a child. Let's think straight. Let's clarify our lives. I want the best life for you, the best life for me. I would rather not rush into something that I want to last for life. You can't make a decision on the height of emotions. And you want that decision to be sober. All decisions that have long-term repercussions, we all know, are better made with the uttermost sobriety.
Yeah.
Uttermost sobriety. And when a woman is up in emotions, she can't think straight.
And Benjamin, you'll realize that what we're talking about here is very relevant. Most of the mistakes that people find themselves in, Benjamin, is as a result of the environment, of which you talked about when you were beginning to the show. Benjamin, how is environment essential when it comes to searching?
Because the people you hang around give you ideas. The people you hang around, you end up, your conversations shape your thoughts. We like to imagine that we are very independent people and that our ideas are our own making. We are not copying anybody. I know myself, I know what I want to like, but in reality, the people you're conversing with frequently shape what you're thinking about.
Okay.
You end up watching similar games and following similar materials online and sharing. Oh, what did you say to that person? Let me check. You exchange notes about things. So the environment we are talking about here is social environment. And I told you to be very conscious with how much time you spend with who. Because what they have is what will come to you. What you have is what will go to them. And be very careful that The friends you are keeping value marriage, value progress. They don't have baby mamas all over. There comes a time to migrate socially, to leave that club, that company of friends, because you no longer want what exists there in your life. Sometimes God will help you. He will make it die.
Yeah.
And only after it dies, you realize your life has become better. You think better now. So my strong advice is check the friends you're keeping, check the company, not only the company of friendship, but where you work from, how close you are. Primarily, you can work in a certain company and you're not too personal with anybody. You are there for a job.
Yeah.
You can keep your personal interactions away. During breaks, you go away. Does not mean you are looking down. You greet your cashiers and all that, but you don't open your personal life to them. You understand? You don't take in that banter when they're talking and gossiping who. You don't contribute. You keep your personality. Be conscious at this time who is feeding your ideas and your emotions.
All right, guys, that is very true because people are infectious, and Benjamin has said it. Gentlemen, now you have it there. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, what you say yes to shapes your future. Thank you for watching The Benjamin Zulu Show. Till next time.